Atlantis is a mythical island that first appears in the works of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, circa 428, 348 BC. In two of his dialogues, the Timaeus and Critias, he offers a description of this advanced civilization. According to Plato, Atlantis was a maritime power that existed 9,000 years before the time of Solon, around 9,600 BC, according to our calendar. Plato described Atlantis as larger than Asia and Libya combined, located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. The central city of Atlantis was made up of concentric islands, separated by wide moats and linked by a canal that penetrated to the center. The Atlanteans had constructed various buildings, docks, and a magnificent palace in the central island. They were a technologically advanced society and had a powerful navy. According to the story, the Atlanteans conquered many parts of Western Europe and Africa and enslaved its people. The only power capable of stopping them was ancient Athens. In a decisive battle, the Athenians managed to defeat the Atlanteans. Plato described Atlantis as a utopian society at first, but its people gradually became morally corrupt, and their society began to decay. In anger, Zeus, the god of gods, decided to punish them. In a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods, the entire island of Atlantis sank beneath the sea, never to be seen again. Since Plato's time, the story of Atlantis has captured the human imagination and has been the subject of countless books, movies, and theories. However, despite extensive speculation and exploration, no evidence of Atlantis has ever been discovered. The precise location of Atlantis has also been a topic of intense debate. While some people believe Plato's description was literal, and that Atlantis may have existed in the Atlantic Ocean, others interpret his words metaphorically and propose other locations such as the Mediterranean, Caribbean, or even Antarctica. The consensus among historians and archaeologists today is that the story of Atlantis was a myth created by Plato, perhaps as an allegory for his philosophical ideas about the moral decay of societies and the consequences they can face as a result. It serves as a warning about the potential downfall of a civilization that becomes too proud and overreaches its bounds. Despite the general agreement on this among professionals in the field, the allure and mystery of Atlantis continues to fascinate people all over the world. The Sumerians were an ancient civilization that emerged in the region of Mesopotamia, specifically the southern part, around 4000 BC. This area is today part of modern-day Iraq. They are credited with establishing one of the first urban civilizations in the world. The Sumerians developed a form of writing known as cuneiform, one of the earliest known writing systems. Cuneiform involved pressing wedge-shaped marks into clay tablets with a reed stylus. Originally used for record-keeping and administrative purposes, it evolved to include literary and historical narratives. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest known works of literature, was written in Sumerian cuneiform. In addition to the invention of cuneiform, the Sumerians made many other significant contributions to human civilization. They developed a numerical system based on the number 60, which is still used today in our measurement of time. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and in degrees of a circle. They also established codes of law and set the precedent for modern legal systems. The Sumerians believed in a pantheon of gods and developed a complex religious system. They built large, stepped temples known as ziggurats, which were considered the dwelling places of the gods. Their religious beliefs also included the concept of an afterlife. Despite these significant advances, many aspects of Sumerian culture and belief systems remain a mystery. Most of what we know about them comes from archaeological discoveries, including thousands of cuneiform tablets. However, the interpretation of these tablets can be challenging and is subject to ongoing scholarly debate. The Sumerians were eventually conquered by the Akkadian Empire around 2300 BC, but their cultural and technological contributions had a significant influence on subsequent civilizations in Mesopotamia and beyond. In the fields of art, literature, religion, law, and especially writing and the organization of city-states, the impact of Sumerian civilization on the development of human society cannot be underestimated. They set many precedents that have shaped the course of history. The Indus Valley civilization, also known as the Harappan civilization, was one of the three earliest civilizations of the ancient world, along with those of Egypt and Mesopotamia. It emerged around 1300 BC in the basins of the Indus River, one of the major rivers of Asia, and the now dried-up Sarasvati River, which once flowed parallel to the Indus. It extended over what is now Pakistan, northwest India, and eastern Afghanistan. The civilization is known for its advanced urban planning, sophisticated craftsmanship, and complex social organization. The two largest cities, Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, were laid out on a precise grid system and included advanced features such as a centralized drainage system, multi-storied residential buildings, large public baths, and impressive granaries. The people of the Indus Valley showed a remarkable degree of standardization in their artifacts, suggesting a high level of control and coordination among the settlements. They were also known for their seals and figurines, which were often made from terracotta and steatite. The seals typically depicted a variety of animals and occasionally human or half-human, half-animal figures, perhaps indicating a belief in mythology and the supernatural. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Indus Valley civilization is its undeciphered script. Despite many attempts, scholars have not yet succeeded in deciphering the language, which is found on a variety of artifacts, including pottery and seals. As a result, much about the Harappans' beliefs, political structures, and social customs remains a mystery. The decline and disappearance of the Indus Valley civilization around 1300 BC also remains somewhat of a mystery. Various theories have been proposed, including changes in river patterns, overuse of the landscape, conflicts with the Aryans, a nomadic Indo-European group, or natural disasters such as earthquakes or drought. The lack of clear evidence has made it difficult to determine the exact cause. Despite its disappearance, the Indus Valley civilization left a lasting legacy. Its emphasis on hygiene can be seen in India's traditional systems of medicine. Its motifs are seen in folk arts, and its practices of weighing and metallurgy have been continued by succeeding civilizations. The Mayan civilization was one of the most dominant indigenous societies of Mesoamerica, a region that extends from central Mexico through Central America. They flourished from approximately 2000 BC to the end of the 17th century AD, with the classical period of their civilization recognized as between AD 250–900. Mayans are particularly known for their fully developed written language known as Maya script or Maya glyphs, which was the most sophisticated and highly developed of all the pre-Columbian Americas. This script is a logosyllabic system with some alphabetic elements. They used it to inscribe a range of materials, including monuments, ceramics, and bark paper books known as codices. Unfortunately, the majority of their books were destroyed during the Spanish conquest, leaving only 3 confirmed and 1 suspected codices remaining. The Mayan civilization also exhibited a deep understanding of astronomy and mathematics. They are known for the creation of a complex calendar system, which included the long count calendar that famously predicted a significant event or change in 2012, often misinterpreted as the end of the world. Their mathematical system was one of the first to include the concept of zero, a fundamental breakthrough in the field of mathematics. The Mayans constructed impressive cities with large step pyramids, palaces, ball courts, and plazas. Some of the most famous cities include Tikal, Palenque, and Chichen Itza. Their cities reflect a complex society with distinct social classes, including a ruling elite, a priestly class, traders, farmers, and slaves. Despite these advancements, many aspects of the Mayan culture and the reasons for their decline remain a mystery. While their classical civilization declined around AD 900, the exact reasons are still unclear. Theories for their decline include overpopulation, environmental degradation, warfare, drought, and social upheaval. However, it's important to note that the Mayan people did not disappear entirely. Their descendants still live in the region today, maintaining many of the traditions and beliefs of their ancestors. The Olmec civilization, often referred to as the mother culture of Mesoamerica, was the first significant civilization in the region. It developed in the tropical lowlands of south-central Mexico, in the modern-day states of Veracruz and Tabasco, around 1500 BC, and declined around 400 BC. The Olmecs are especially known for their enormous carved stone heads, often referred to as colossal heads, which can be up to 9 feet tall and weigh several tons. These heads are believed to represent rulers, and they display unique individual features, headgear, and sometimes markings of rank or divinity. The process of carving these large stones and moving them long distances demonstrates the Olmec's significant organizational and engineering skills. In addition to the colossal heads, the Olmecs also produced smaller, more intricate jade figurines and carvings. They were skilled in ceramics and created a variety of pottery styles. They built large ceremonial centers, the most well-known being La Venta, San Lorenzo, and Tres Zapotes. The Olmecs are also known for their possible development of the earliest known Mesoamerican writing system. Examples of this script include the Cascajal block and the Tuxtla statuette. These scripts are yet to be fully deciphered, and much about the Olmec language and their use of these scripts remains unknown. In terms of religious beliefs, the Olmecs worshipped a variety of gods, many of which were associated with natural elements such as water, earth, and maize. Many of these gods later appeared in the pantheons of succeeding Mesoamerican civilizations, indicating the Olmec's significant influence on these cultures. The reasons for the decline and collapse of the Olmec civilization remain unclear. Several theories have been proposed, including environmental changes, overpopulation, and social unrest. Despite their disappearance, the Olmecs had a profound influence on later Mesoamerican cultures, including the Maya and Aztec, particularly in the realms of art, architecture, and religion. The Nazca civilization was an ancient culture that flourished in the Nazca River Valley in the southern part of present-day Peru from around 100 BC to 800 AD. They were the successors to the Paracas culture and are renowned for their pottery, textiles, and most notably, the geoglyphs known as the Nazca lines. The Nazca lines are one of the most extraordinary legacies left by the Nazca civilization. These are massive geoglyphs, or designs on the ground, created by removing rocks and earth to reveal the lighter soil beneath. They cover an area of about 450 square kilometers and are best viewed from the air. The designs include hundreds of figures, including animals, such as a monkey, hummingbird, and spider, plants, geometric patterns, and even humanoid figures. The scale and precision of these lines and figures are remarkable and have intrigued archaeologists and historians for decades. Despite extensive study, the exact purpose of the Nazca lines remains a mystery. Some theories propose that they had a religious or ceremonial purpose, possibly related to agricultural rituals or astronomical alignments. Others suggest they might have been part of a system of irrigation canals or even a giant astronomical calendar. The method of their creation is also a topic of debate. It is believed that the Nazca people likely used simple tools and surveying equipment to create the lines. Despite their size, the relative simplicity of the designs and the flat terrain would have allowed them to be constructed without advanced technology. The Nazca civilization was also known for its sophisticated pottery and textiles. Their ceramics were often decorated with vivid colors and complex designs, while their textiles demonstrated advanced weaving techniques and the use of dyes. The decline of the Nazca civilization around 800 AD is thought to have been due to environmental changes, possibly linked to El Niño, which could have led to widespread flooding and damage to their irrigation systems. In sum, while much about the Nazca civilization remains mysterious, their legacy, particularly the Nazca lines, continues to fascinate and inspire researchers and visitors from around the world. The Minoan civilization was a Bronze Age civilization that emerged on the island of Crete, the largest of the Greek islands, around 2600 BC and lasted until about 1100 BC. Named after the mythical King Minos, the Minoans represent the first advanced civilization in Europe, displaying a level of cultural sophistication and technological advancement that was unparalleled for the time. The Minoans are perhaps best known for their palace complexes, particularly the one at Knossos, which was both a royal residence and a center for administrative and religious activities. These palaces were multi-storied and intricately designed, complete with plumbing systems, and were richly decorated with frescoes, depicting scenes of everyday life, religious rituals, and nature. Minoan society appears to have been organized around these palaces, which served as centers of political, economic, and religious life. The Minoans were skilled craftsmen and traders, with their maritime prowess allowing them to establish trade networks across the Mediterranean. The Minoan civilization is also known for its distinctive art and architecture, including pottery, sculpture, and fresco painting, which often depicted nature, animals, and complex scenes of ritual or sport. The Minoans used a form of writing known as Linear A, which remains undeciphered to this day, leaving many aspects of their culture and society a mystery. The end of the Minoan civilization, often referred to as the Minoan catastrophe, remains a topic of research and debate. One leading theory is that a massive volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, Santorini, around 1600 BC led to a tsunami and a series of climatic changes that severely impacted the Minoans. The civilization did not disappear immediately after this event, but it began a decline from which it never recovered. Other theories suggest that the Minoans were invaded or absorbed by other Aegean civilizations, such as the Mycenaeans from mainland Greece. Despite their mysterious end, the Minoans left an indelible mark on the history of the Aegean and Europe. Their influence can be seen in the mythology, art, and architecture of ancient and classical Greece, and they continue to fascinate archaeologists and historians today. The Anasazi, also known as the ancestral Puebloans, were an ancient Native American culture that lived in the Four Corners region of the southwestern United States, encompassing parts of present-day Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. They flourished from around AD 200 to the 13th century. The Anasazi are especially known for their cliff dwellings, which are among the most remarkable ancient structures in North America. These homes were built into alcoves in cliffs and often reached several stories high. The structures were made from sandstone blocks and adobe mortar with timber used for support and roofing. Some of the most notable cliff dwellings include those at Mesa Verde National Park and Canyon de Chelly National Monument. The Anasazi were also known for their pottery, particularly black-on-white designs, and their petroglyphs and pictographs, which provide insights into their beliefs and daily life. They cultivated maize, beans, and squash, and developed complex irrigation systems to support their agriculture. Around the 13th century, the Anasazi abandoned their cliff dwellings and dispersed to different regions. The reasons for this are still a topic of debate among archaeologists and historians. Drought, resource depletion, warfare, societal upheaval, and even climate change have all been suggested as possible factors. It's likely that a combination of these factors led to their departure. The descendants of the Anasazi include various Pueblo peoples, such as the Hopi and Zuni, who continue to live in the southwestern United States today. These modern Pueblo cultures maintain many of the traditions and practices of their ancestors. The term Anasazi has fallen out of favor in recent years, as it is a Navajo word that can be translated as ancient enemies. Many prefer to use the term ancestral Puebloans, or simply ancestral peoples, to refer to this civilization. Catalhoyuk is an archaeological site located in southern Turkey that dates back to the Neolithic period, roughly from 7,500 BC to 5,700 BC. It's recognized as one of the world's earliest known urban settlements and offers critical insights into the early transition from nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyles to settled agricultural communities. The site is notable for its unique layout, with houses built directly against each other, without streets or alleys between them. Instead, the inhabitants appeared to move around the settlement using the roofs, entering their homes through ladders from above. Inside, the houses were plastered and often featured vibrant wall paintings and relief sculptures, many of which depicted animals or hunting scenes. Some houses contained areas that seemed to have been used for ritual purposes, including burials. The society of Catalhoyuk was seemingly egalitarian, with no clear evidence of social stratification. Houses did not vary significantly in size or elaborateness, suggesting a lack of marked wealth disparity. The diet of the inhabitants was based primarily on agriculture, with wheat and barley being the main crops, supplemented by domesticated animals like sheep and goats. One of the most intriguing aspects of Catalhoyuk is its rich symbolic and artistic culture. Many houses contain elaborate frescoes and sculptures. and numerous figurines have been found, including the famous figurines of corpulent women that some researchers interpret as fertility goddesses. This might indicate a religion in which women played a prominent role, but without written records, it's hard to draw firm conclusions. The reasons for the decline and abandonment of Catalhoyuk around 5,700 BC remain unclear. It could have been due to environmental changes, overpopulation, disease, or a combination of these factors. The site was discovered in the late 1950s and has been a focus of archaeological research ever since, providing valuable insights into early human societies. Despite the many discoveries made at Catalhoyuk, much about the settlement and its inhabitants remains unknown, making it a fascinating subject of study in the fields of archaeology and anthropology. Gobekli Tepe is an archaeological site located in southeastern Turkey. Its significance lies in its extreme age and impressive architecture, with structures dating back to around 9,600 to 7,300 BC. This makes it thousands of years older than Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids, and it's often referred to as the world's oldest known temple or ceremonial complex. The site consists of a series of circular and oval-shaped structures set on a hilltop. The most distinctive features of Gobekli Tepe are the massive T-shaped limestone pillars, some of which reach up to 5.5 meters, 18 feet, in height and weigh several tons. Many of these pillars are decorated with bas-reliefs of animals, including foxes, lions, snakes, and birds. The reliefs are some of the oldest known examples of this type of sculpture in the world. The builders of Gobekli Tepe lived in a time when humans were predominantly hunter-gatherers, prior to the advent of settled farming communities. This makes the site's existence all the more remarkable, as it would have required a high level of organization and labor to construct. The purpose of Gobekli Tepe is still a subject of debate among scholars. Given its monumental architecture and the presence of animal and symbolic motifs, it's believed to have been a place of ritual or ceremonial significance. Some have suggested it was a pilgrimage site that drew people from great distances. The identity of the people who built Gobekli Tepe remains a mystery. They left no written records, and much of what is known about them is based on the artifacts they left behind and the environmental evidence of their diet and lifestyle. The site was deliberately buried around 8,000 BC for reasons that are still not understood. It was rediscovered in the mid-20th century and has been the focus of intensive archaeological investigation since the 1990s. In conclusion, Gobekli Tepe is a site of immense historical and archaeological importance. It challenges traditional narratives about the development of civilization, suggesting that complex societies may have arisen earlier than previously thought. Its discovery has opened up new lines of inquiry into the nature of human society in the late Stone Age.